Welcome to another Tiny Tuesday where I offer bits of creative ideas, techniques, or maybe product info. I'm Christy here at My Artful Adventures, and whether you're new here or you're returning, thanks so much for sharing a moment of your time. Today we're going to make a MemoryDex card. Now if you're not familiar what a MemoryDex card is, it's a card, remember the old Rolodex type cards that people used to keep address information and things like that on, and they had little holes in the bottom. Well, Heidi Swap, who is a big name in the scrapbook industry, she is always trying to find new ways to do some memory keeping, and she came up with this idea of using cards and putting them in and keeping little bits of memory on little cards. And kind of a 4x4 card is the perfect size to do this. Not very many people are using it for memory keeping anymore, and it has become kind of just a fun little, an additional way to make little pieces of art. And a lot of people trade them just like tags or artist trading cards, and they're just small little pieces of art and don't take very much time. And I was recently in a MemoryDex swap, and I thought, oh, you guys, I should show you how I made my little cards. You might find that interesting. And we're going to use our I offered this printable free recently, and we're going to use the post office on this particular one, and I'll link in the description this printable. And when we're done, I've got another printable that is going to be a companion piece that you might be interested in using for making some tags or MemoryDex cards. Now if you're using a 4-inch card, you can actually get a punch to make these holes, and it's kind of handy because you can line your 4-inch card in these spots here and just do it. And you guys, until I did my swap, I never had invested in one of these, and so I recently did. But don't worry, if you don't have one of those, you can easily do this because you want your holes about an inch apart. On a 4-inch card, you would have your first hole at 1.5 and your second one at 2.5 inches. And so I'm just going to go up here, and you just want them up a little bit higher, and then you're just going to punch right there. It's kind of hard seeing where I'm punching right here. They might not be totally even, but that's okay. So you just do that, and then you can just take some little scissors, and you have to have this so they can kind of go on little rails, okay? And so you just punch in like this, and then you can get them virtually, they're going to be similar to this. Now this is a little bit higher. Some people actually like theirs a little bit higher, so they sit up on the rail a little bit more. But here we go. That's just the same. Now I made these just a wee bit higher. So I mean, if you want them lower, just punch them lower to the bottom, but that's all you have to do. So let's get busy. And I've got a lot of this stuff already kind of taken care of, so we don't have to spend forever doing it. Now I have taken an old atlas, and I tore out some pages. Now these have all kinds of looks to them. Some of them have a lot of color and water. This particular one has a great street grid on it. You can get them like this, and if you want to leave some of these bits of the sides on, you could do that. It's just up to you. Whatever you want to do and how you want to do it, it's just up to you. So I think I'm just going to use it just like this, and I do like using my metal ruler or any ruler and just tearing it. And the easiest way to do that is if you've got these grid mats work great, you guys, because then you can just line up your page like this. And if I wanted to cut this and do this at another 4 inches, all I'd have to do is, let's say I don't want this section here. And so, I like to do it like this. I like to have more of it to hang on to tear. So I could grab it here, hold tight on your ruler, and then just rip it like that, okay? And then, just line it up here on one of your grid marks, And then you've got an easy way. Oh, and you know, you've got grid marks going both ways, so you can line it up. Now there's a little piece over there that's hanging off, and we could deal with that later. But just, you know, do this, put it over here. You've got it lined up. Use your grid mark, the top and the bottom, so you make sure it's straight. And then there you go. Now you've got your piece like this. Now it's a little bit, probably a little bit too long. Yep, just a little bit. And so you just, you know, tear that other smidge off there. And then I could use this for another piece. Now I've already got mine done, and I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use this one with this other grid on it. But I'm going to use my post office, and you can kind of use your little post office thing and, you know, audition which one that you like it best on, you know, like we always do. You can just play around, see what you like. It doesn't really matter. This is kind of cute, actually. I don't know. And you know, if you've got somewhere, especially if you're sending it to somebody and you can get part of like their city, that's kind of cute too. But we're going to layer things on this, and so we're not going to be able to see that much of what's going on, you know, behind our layers. So I am going to just go ahead and glue this on my card real quick. And I'm just going to use, I am just going to use some glue stick. Oh my goodness, words are hard sometimes, right, you guys? And if you don't get all of the little spots, it's kind of nice to have one of those needle nose little applicator glue bottles, because you can go back in and get whatever that you missed so you can stick it down good. So I'm going to put it here. I'm just going to line it up here and get it stuck down. And it's easiest kind of if you get a couple of your corners lined up, or a, you know, a top and a bottom, and then just press it on there. Now you're going to have to go back and do this. Well, I'm going to wait and do this in a second, but I can flip it over like this, and then I can see. And if you've got this, it's got this little door, just, you know, shake those out, and then you can still see. I'm just going to do it now. So I can hold it in here. I can see exactly where those need to be punched again, and then I can just punch those out. And now I don't like to try to do too many layers at once, because, you know, that gets to be a little difficult. Now, I had a friend send me something in the mail, and when she sent it, she wrapped it up in this really old piece of ledger paper. Well, it was in a regular envelope, and by the time that it got to me, you know, it had been through the mail and just been really, you know, folded, and as an envelope would be, you know, just compressed and flattened. And the paper was so old and brittle that as I opened it up, then, you know, it had broken and torn. But it's perfectly fine to use for something else. And I kind of laughed to myself, because I thought, well, now I didn't feel so bad about, you know, using bits and pieces of it, right, for anything. I took a stamp and used something that was like handwriting. And so now I can take, you know, a bit of this and tear it. And then with my post office, I've got something that looks a bit like a piece of correspondence, right? It's got handwriting on it. And so I'm just going to take that. And you guys, you don't have to have a ton of things to be able to make a fun little, you know, MemoryDex card. I don't really want those little pointed pieces. See if we can get something on that. Now, I inked around, oh, let me ink around this. I want to ink around the edge of my card, just to kind of pull it together. It just kind of gives it a frame and pulls your whole piece together if you want to kind of edge it like that. And you don't have to. Maybe you don't like that look, and that's totally up to you. But it just kind of pulls it all together. And this kind of had some of this yellow tone in the mat up there to start with. Now then, I'm just going to layer this here. My post office I'm going to put over here, and I can just kind of put this somewhere along here, higher, lower, whatever I want. And, you know, I just tore it, so it wasn't anything, you know, I didn't really have a specific size, right? I just need it to fit. It just needs to fit on the page, and we're going to put it right here. I'm just going to slap it on here. Just pop it on right there. And there we go. And now I'm going to put my post office on here, and I have another little stamp. And you guys, if you can find a stamp that's got, you know, a canceled stamp on it, I think that just adds a little bit more interest. So I'm just going to put some glue on there. I'm just going to tuck it over here, just like this. And I haven't glued this down yet because I kind of want to see where I want to put this. I'm still going to put some words down here, so I want it, you know, and you could mess around with that all day, right? You could play around all day long before you decided that, and there's never going to be a perfect spot, right? You just put it on there, have fun with it. You don't need to take all day. And then I'm just going to put this here, and there's our little post office. And then I made a little saying here, and I just inked the edges, and it says, delivering smiles across the miles. And then I'm just going to stagger these along here. And I think first, well, you know, when you're working with these little pieces like this, it's almost easier to kind of get an idea where you want them laid out, and you can put them straight if you want to. You can, you know, make them crookedy, whatever you want to do. But I like to usually kind of stagger them a little bit, and I just find that it's easiest if I glue one down, and then I'm not fighting with both of them. So glue one piece on, and then the next one feels like it's easier, right? So we'll put that there, and then just our next one, and there we have just, whoops, almost lost it. Phew, crisis averted. Okay, and then we'll just put this one here, and I might even like just bump it up so it's kind of layered on top of it a tiny bit. So there we go. There we are. Just find something for a background, and that's as easy. I mean, I think it's adorable. I love it. So I just think it is a lot of fun. So, and this is what I've got for you today. I've got another freebie today. So, along with the buildings, all of these buildings, I've made another piece for you to have some things to layer, to make your own tags or MemoryDex cards or ATC cards, whatever you would like. And all of these will kind of correspond with different buildings. So I hope that you think that is fun and will enjoy using those. And the link for those is down in the description. So you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me for another Tiny Tuesday, and I will see you next time. And I hope if you enjoy these things, I hope that you will like the video and also subscribe and ring the bell so you'll get another reminder the next time that there's something available. Have a great day, you guys. Bye-bye.